Hello, mi gente, and welcome to another amazing episode of no other than #Amilikey. So, you know that common phrase when they say, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade? Well, when life gives me semi-lemons, I make videos. So yes, originally I hadn't been planning on making a video today because, as you can see, I bought this super cute outfit with this nice blazer and nice blouse and these nice slack pants. I even got the shoes and everything, and I even got me a nice cute little business purse because I wanted to look the part. But long and behold, the event was canceled this morning, and there was really no way of finding out until I got there. So I was definitely bummed out. I was looking forward to it, and it didn't happen. So I guess, well, even after I was preparing myself to go to the event, I knew that I was getting off early because the event wasn't going to take very long. So I was like, ooh, yes, I'm going to go to the library to get my video done. But it wasn't like a for sure, but here we are. So with that being said, I didn't want to just give updates and kind of ramble. So I actually made a few notes, and I did pick a topic, because I was in the mood of being organized and whatnot. But of course, hello, this is Amilikey. This is not how we do things. We don't just write in the script for the whole video. It just comes as it goes, because this is me. This is how I've been portraying my page since I started it. Obviously, that's why I don't have a lot of followers or subscribers, because it doesn't have all the fancy audio and lighting and different graphics and whatnot. But this is me. This is who I am. So take it or leave it. So anyways, without any more preamble protocol, I wanted to share the topic of traveling. I mean, who doesn't love traveling? Who cannot relate to traveling at one point or another? Everybody has traveled, even if it wasn't long distances or faraway places. Thankfully, not to brag. The one good thing about being Hispanic and being a foreigner is obviously I came from South America, another continent, another country. So yes, I've traveled. All right, so kind of like a summary into all of my traveling experiences. I wanted to start off with at age 4 is when I took my first flight. At that time, obviously, I couldn't even comprehend what was going on. Obviously, I got on the plane with my dad, but I'm like, okay. And when it took off, felt weird, but still in my mind, I couldn't grasp what is happening. I'm like, LA, getting on a plane, going far, far away, and not even know where I'm going. So as soon as we land in Houston, Texas, which was my first state. Hey, shout out to Texas. And we get there, and I'm like, dang, it's been a while. And I'm like, Daddy, when are we gonna go see Mommy? I wanna go home. And he's like, girl, are you crazy? You wanna go home? We're in another country, sweetheart. Your mom's nowhere near here. So in my mind, I'm like this looks super weird. Like, why are people talking funny? And I don't understand what they're saying. So yeah, that was one of the biggest, I guess, culture shocks I had growing up as a kid. Not understanding what was happening as a 4-year-old. I'm going to a different country. I'm flying far away. Like, what is going on? So that was my first traveling experience. And then at 8, my dad actually sent me back once we had moved my treatment from Galveston, Texas to Tampa, Florida. At 8 years old, he was like, oh yeah, you can go back and visit your mom, but you can go by yourself. And I'm like, what? You're gonna send me by myself on a plane? I'm just 8. He's like, oh, you'll be fine, you'll be fine. So that was another experience that was very memorable because obviously the kids that are traveling by themselves sit up in the front, and the stewardess are constantly attending to them. So I flew in one morning and it was breakfast, back when airplanes actually gave you food without overcharging you. So I ordered breakfast and I had ordered eggs. I was so excited, but they didn't come seasoned, so it was like plain blue. And then so I started adding some salt, and I'm like, still doesn't taste right. So instead of adding a little bit, I added a whole nother packet and ruined them. It was horrible. They were so salty, I couldn't even take another bite. And over here, this little girl next to me is ordering pancakes and stuffing her face so good. And I was just like, dang, I should have gone with that. But no. So the whole trip there, I'm like starving because I didn't get to eat my breakfast. And then when I got there, my grandma and my uncle picked me up, and my mom was looking for me, and I ended up going with them instead. So that was kind of messed up because she was looking forward to picking me up, so I felt so bad. So yeah, that was that. And then also I've traveled a lot via flight, but I've also traveled on road. And I remember before that solo flight, my dad, God bless him, he is very special, and he had this crazy idea that he had bought a car back in 1998. It was a Kia purple car, and it was brand new, and he was like, ooh, I want to take this car back to Colombia. And I'm like, okay, but he wanted to drive it all the way over there. So I'm like, at this point in time, I'm still not like 100% well-rounded to understand like the whole geography of the world, but I knew it was crazy and it was far, and we'd have to travel through like really long places. Obviously the whole Central America, I mean, that's crazy. Who does that? Who even thinks of that? So anyways, we started on the journey and we left Tampa, obviously traveled all the way up through Tallahassee, and I can't exactly remember, but I'm pretty sure you have to pass through a little bit of Georgia, and obviously down to Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and then after that, I'm not exactly sure, but I think we went straight down to Texas and then made it all the way to the Mexican border. Don't know why my dad thought they were just gonna let us come through. I mean, obviously, I had a passport, they had a passport, but at that time, my brother was literally 8 days old. Literally 8 days old. Obviously, he doesn't have a passport. How are we gonna keep going down the line? And even if they did at that time, if he would have somehow gotten his passport, it's like there's a lot of laws and protocols. You can't just travel down in your car, just make your way down the line. Even if we would have gotten past Mexico, like all these other Latin countries, you can't just come through just because you want to. So yeah, that was crazy experience. It was about, I can't remember exactly, but it was a few days of traveling via road to get there. So thankfully that's where it ended, because that would have been madness. So, anywho, that was the road experience. And what else? Okay, so then I also highlighted that when I was in college at USF, I had joined this group, Christian group, and one time they had a conference in Athens, Georgia, and they invited me, and we also took via road trip. That was also a unique experience. I had never been there, and it was during winter months, so I was literally this close, like literally, I think it was maybe 20 minutes away. It started snowing, and I was like, you got to be freaking kidding me. I've never seen snow, and I was actually this close, like this close to being able to experience that for the first time, and it still didn't happen for me, so I was really bummed out. But it was freezing cold, like, oh my goodness, it was so freaking cold. But yeah, that was a cool, nice little trip. But the one I'm most excited to talk about, even though I've already said a lot, was my most recent trip to my beautiful native land of Colombia. I hadn't been there in 23 years, which I know I've spoken on it before, but it was really heartbreaking to think that so much time had lapsed before me being able to get there. So that was a true blessing. I am forever grateful. I did want to give a few feedbacks. I definitely felt a little bit rough as soon as I got there, because although I'm obviously Colombian myself, I was born there, raised by Colombian parents, all of my family is Colombian. It still has been a whole lifetime of me not being aware of the culture, everything new that's been going on. And for some reason, for those who know, speaking of, it's already Hispanic Heritage Month. There is a lot of animosity in between different Hispanic cultures, especially those who have been granted citizenship through naturalization, or those who have been born here but obviously are still Hispanic, descendants from their parents. And so there's always a clash in between those different groups. And so when I got there, the guy at the counter, checking me in right after I got off the plane was like, oh, so where's your Colombian passport? And I'm like, obviously I don't have one. I haven't been here in 23 years. Why would I have a Colombian passport? It's like, I'm showing you my American passport because that's where I came from. Like, why would I have two? I only need one. And then he's like, oh, so did you give up or renounce your Colombian citizenship? I'm like, what? Excuse me? No, why would I renounce or give up my natural born right as a Colombian? I was born here. Why would I give that up? That makes no sense. So that's like a little bit of a shocker. I felt like they were judging me because obviously on your American passport, for those who are not born here, it says your nationality. So obviously on my US passport it said Colombia, which is my nationality, which I would never deny. So they felt like some type of way, like, oh, you think you're better than us now because you're American. So that was like a little bit of like, okay, I didn't do anything. Y'all guys act like I've dished you, like I've abandoned you. If I haven't been here in 23 years, it wasn't for lack of trying or not wanting to come. Like, I love my country. It's one of the biggest blessings that I will always be grateful for. So yeah, and then as soon as I got to the hotel, same thing. The lady was like, oh, so where's your Colombian passport? Oh, so you don't have a Colombian ID? I'm like, girl, did you not just hear where I came from? Why would I have all these documents? So that was like a little bit of hostility that I was not prepared for or expecting at all. But apart from those two little times, everything else was pretty nice because obviously I spoke the language, maybe not with the exact same accent, but nobody knew I was also American Colombian. So for the remainder of the trip, I didn't experience that part exactly. So I got to travel to 2 other cities which were nearby, also via road. Unfortunately, that was not that exciting because the traveling agency that we picked, the bus shuttle was very under equipped. The AC wasn't working properly and it was super bumpy throughout the whole entire thing. I felt like I was on a freaking roller coaster. So that was not cool. But I did get to see some of the famous monuments in Barranquilla, and I took a few pictures. Then we got to Santa Marta, also the location where they had us view or whatever wasn't also the greatest, but I technically was in 2 other cities, so I guess I got to say that. It definitely was like so nostalgic to remember things from my childhood that were still in place. Like, I know this is silly, but like literally one of the grocery bags is like an iconic Colombian bag, which you would know if you knew. It's literally the blue and white striped bag, which is like a grocery bag, but it's like very typical. So when I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, this brings me back to my childhood. And so sort of things like that really had a very nostalgic feeling for me. And then also all of the new things that I was like, whoa, this is cool. Like, I walked into a couple of grocery stores and they had Christian music on it, and I was like, what? This is nice. And also, like, on the buses, on the back of the buses, there were a lot of Bible verses and like just faith-based sayings, and I'm like, what? Hey. So that was really nice because when I left at 11 years old, faith-based things weren't as popular. So for me to see that all around, that was like very heartwarming. And I was like, yes, Colombia para Cristo. So that was really nice. Another thing that I really was like, oh, I wish wouldn't have to end, was the friendliness of everyone, like in general. Like, obviously at the hotel they had the staff outside. As soon as you would walk in or out, they'd greet you. Everyone at the hotel would greet you, good morning, good morning. As soon as you got in the elevator, everybody would be like, good morning, but like with a smile, and you know, just that heartwarming feeling. Like, no offense, but Americans are so cold. Like, for the most part, everybody's like laser focused, zoned out. Like, they might say good morning, but they're just like, good morning. Like it's like a heavy burden to have to say it, especially to a stranger. But over there, it's like, you know, I mean, yes, it's a hotel, people are on vacation, of course they're gonna be in a good mood. But like, even when I went to the stores or I was just walking down the street, people would still say hi to you and say good morning, and like with a smile, and just that warmth and friendliness. It was so like, I didn't want to let it go. But yeah, I had a really nice time in Cartagena, Colombia, which I was there for 7 days. And then the malls, oh my gosh, the malls over there, I was like, wow. I'm like, how are we behind? Because I mean, I felt like their malls were so much better than ours. It had like 4 stories. It had working escalators and elevators, and the bathrooms were pristine, well kept, and everything. And I'm like, wow, like, where am I? Like, everything was so neatly kept. everything was really, really in good conditions. Not like over here, sometimes you see just construction and a hot mess. I don't know, maybe it's just where I live. The mall that we've had in our community has been a hot mess for like the past 15 years. So to see a mall that is so well kept with everything in it was just so nice. So so yeah, I mean obviously why would I talk bad about my own country? But no, I mean obviously it's not perfect, duh. But there are things that I was like, taken back, like surprised, like, whoa, this is nice. But then there's other things that obviously you realize where you are. Like the sidewalks are like super tiny, and those are like cracked and chipped, and you see bricks and dirt, and it's like, whoa. And then obviously the streets are so narrow and so small, and I'm like, oh my god, how do people drive? And there's like a million motorcyclists, and everybody's honking and beeping, and then there's no crosswalks. I'm like, how am I supposed to cross the street? So yeah, that was a lot. But yes, traveling is amazing. Just wanted to end this because I know I've gone way over my time limit. But hopefully whoever does take the time to enjoy this will enjoy it. My dream destination has been for quite some time Morocco. I speak a little bit of French. I know I've said for the past 7 years I was going to make the effort to keep learning and become fluent, but that has yet to happen. So in Morocco, they speak French. Obviously, they speak other languages, but I like their culture. I like their food, and I know it's on a coastline, and they have castles, and I just to be able to say you went to Africa is like a privilege now. It's ironic how all these people were taken from slavery and whatnot, and now it's like a privilege to be able to go there, because it's not like you could just pick up and get there by bus or whatever. Like it takes a lot to be able to say you went to Africa, because it's like super expensive and a super long flight. You have to take layovers. So yeah, to be able to say that you went to Africa, it's a pretty big deal. It's a pretty huge deal. So I hope that soon enough, later than sooner, I will get to experience that and be able to say, I was here, I went to Morocco, I practiced my French. Hopefully by then I will be almost fluent, or definitely better spoken than I am now. So that's what I want to leave you with. As always, remember my favorite phrase: you are not a mistake, because God is perfect and he does not make mistakes. We always want to go against our own humanity of why this, why that, but sometimes it's best not to know why this, why that, because even if we did know, we still wouldn't be able to understand it. So, and also I heard this very good phrase of T.D. Jakes: if we knew the answers to everything, then we wouldn't be required to have faith. Because if we knew everything, then what's the point? So, in order to have faith, we can't know everything, and we have to walk by faith. Faith in the Lord, faith in ourselves as well, but more importantly, faith that there is a greater purpose for you despite the heartaches and the mistakes. So, hope you enjoyed this awesome video. Hope you enjoy my outfit. And you'll subscribe, like, and share, comment, and come back for more. As always, #Amilikey out.